we made it to the beautiful, well, that doesn't even do it justice. What's a better word than that, David? You're a writer.
Fairly reasonable.
The extraordinary garden of the one and only David SJ Hodgeson up in San Pedro, California. Anybody could spend weeks in this garden. David, as I told you last year, remember we came up here, we met Regina Fernandez was here, and the garden was still a baby. It has matured spectacularly, and as I told you, I was so impressed with David because he has married collector and designer so beautifully. He's really inspired me to begin collecting plants, and he has got some of the most magnificent varieties that he has displayed so beautifully. So David, tell us about your agaves.
Well, I've got quite a lot of them. What I decided to do was stay at the beginning of the alphabet and mainly collect aloes and agaves. So this area has been in the ground maybe about just over 2 years. It was planted January 2 years ago. So what I've done is I've mistakenly planted a lot of these agaves slightly too close to each other. So normally people say if succulents knit together in a tapestry it'll look great. You can't say that with agave. So I'm going to get my big shovel out, but not for another year. So you just need to know how big they're going to get and how fast they're going to get big. But what I do is I've collected some. There's a Titanota there, which is nice, and then a little colony of rum runners. That is a Kisho Khan, and then over here is obviously Victoria Reginae, compact form, and then a little shark, which is from Rancho Soledad.
Aww.
And then I want to say striata, stricta, the hedgehog agave. Moving on, that isn't an agave, that's an aloe peglare, but it looks like an agave, so it went into the agave area. And then a non-variegated Kisho Khan that started to go variegated, which is very exciting. What I've also done behind is I've planted tree aloes, which is straying a little bit away from what I was supposed to be talking about. Agave impreza just down there, and then I wanted to get some height, but also I've left an area behind the trees so that I can do some tactical weeding. And then, so this is one of the agaves, but I've spread them out over the whole garden. So, for example, over here, this is a nice sort of chartreuse agave called Chazouai. That's probably pronounced incorrectly. There's this is a nice new Parii, variegated Parii called Lime Streak. I had Victoria Reginae Aurora pup, so I removed all the pups, serrated my hands, and then replanted everything. And then further around is Cornelius on that corner, which is fun to grow. You notice it is pupped already. That's been in the ground since April of last year. And then a Celsinova there, which is nice and just generally nice. And then over here I have just in case you want to know the difference between a sun glow and a snow glow, the snow glow is at the front and the sun glow is at the back. Slightly whiter variegation, and then that's a Sebastiana there, and then that aloe that's flowering is a Falcata. You have to be careful how you say that. Behind that is a Parisana Fireball, which is a that's going to grow into a large globe and is obviously going to get moved. And then a lovely Nicholsay or Ferdinand Regis over there, a larger rum runner next to it, an Ithmensis next to that, and then moving over here, we've got a half moon variegation on Kisho Khan, and then this is an interesting hybrid. It is Victoria Reginae X utahensis. So, if you want to know what a utahensis looks like, that's a utahensis. And there are two forms. It's hilarious. There are two forms of utahensis, but one grows in Nevada and the other one grows in Arizona, even though it's called utahensis. Whoa! That's probably more than anyone wants to know.
That's funny.
But yes, and then there are other agaves as well. This is a nice one here.
That's stunning. They're his babies. And as if this wasn't amazing enough, he has just recently designed his front yard. So we're going to catch that later after we attend the Cactus and Succulent meeting, tour Botanical Garden. Then we're going to come back when the light is better to check out the front.